If you follow the channel, you'll know that I love old vintage cocktails, and today I'm making one that in my opinion is both excellent and underrated, so stick around. Hello folks, Rob Dreemeyer here. Welcome to Broadway Barfly. Today we're making a Brandy Alexander. That'd make a good drag name, right? The Brandy Alexander is probably the best known of the Alexander family of cocktails, and in future videos I'm going to be exploring some of those Alexander cocktails. So now would be a good time to click that subscribe button and hit the notification bell so you don't miss any of them. There are conflicting stories about the origins of the Brandy Alexander, but the story that's most often repeated is that it was created in the early 20th century here in New York City at the Hotel Rector by their bartender, Tony Alexander. His task was to create a white cocktail for a dinner being hosted by the Delaware, Lackawanna, and Western Railroad, where they would be showcasing their fictional character Phoebe Snow, not to be confused with the singer Phoebe Snow. In those days, trains were powered by coal, and it was common for passengers to be coated with a thin layer of black soot by the end of the journey. Well, the Delaware, Lackawanna, and Western Railroad burned a cleaner type of coal. So to advertise this, they created Phoebe Snow, a young woman who confidently dressed in white because she knew that she would arrive at her destination as clean and pristine as when she started. Phoebe Snow may have been quickly forgotten, but her signature cocktail only grew in popularity throughout the 20th century, and it showed up in all sorts of pop culture references. It was an important plot point in the film Days of Wine and Roses, soon to be made into a Broadway musical. It also shows up in the pilot episode of The Mary Tyler Moore Show. Lou Grant reaches into his desk drawer, pulls out a bottle, offers Mary a drink, and she reluctantly accepts, saying she'll have a Brandy Alexander. A Brandy Alexander is made with brandy, though usually cognac, cream, we'll be using half and half, and dark crème de cacao. You could use your favorite brand of crème de cacao, but I'm going to be using my homemade version. In the early days of Broadway Barfly, I made a video where I demonstrated how to make homemade crème de cacao, so if you haven't already seen that video, go check it out. And finally, it's garnished with a dusting of fresh nutmeg. So let's go ahead and make our Brandy Alexander. We have our Brandy Alexander. I have to admit, the dark crème de cacao and the dusting of nutmeg makes it look like Phoebe Snow is riding one of those other railroads. But let's go ahead and give it a taste. You really can't beat it. It's a little bit sweet. Of course, you taste the chocolate, but the surprising element is that you really kind of get the fruit from the cognac, which makes it just a little something extra. So if you've never had a Brandy Alexander before, go ahead and treat yourself. Give it a try. Cheers.
If you enjoyed the video, why not give it a thumbs up and share it with your friends? Feel free to leave your comments and click that subscribe button because there's a lot more Broadway Barfly to come.